Hi everyone, it's me, the Chipmunk. Uh, the other day on Show Me the Belly's site, there was a lively discussion that got a little bit out of hand about a certain subject. Um, it had to do with a video, which I'll try to show what I can of it. I don't really want to show you the video. I'll just show you probably the audio from it, because I don't want to give this person and her video too much publicity. But needless to say, the video involved a controversial comment. While it did not address the pregnant community directly, it addressed the idea of pregnancy, uh, expansion in movies, where there's, a fast pregnancy. She called it the mystical pregnancy aspect. In short, what she was saying, and I've listened to this video several times, I got the very distinct impression, obviously, that she did not like it, and that she thought these films and television shows that showed these kind of belly expansions in movies and TV were somehow a form of rape. Well, needless to say, that ticked me off. When she started out talking, I agreed at first with what she was saying, because in some movies, like, as you know, I've bashed many of them, like Alien vs. Predator, and others that have been just violent towards pregnant women, mean-spirited, cruel. I've always denounced that. I've always hated that. And anytime there is something as like an actual rape in a movie, I don't like it, I'm not comfortable with it, and I will condemn it. But she was comparing rape, in her definition, to these sci-fi programs where there was no sexual contact. The Torchwood episode, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched it, it's, a spin-off from Doctor Who, and one of the agents is a female. She gets bitten on the arm by an alien, and the next day she winds up extremely pregnant. Okay. Now, she said, well, that's rape. I could see her point that it might be interpreted that way. However, I don't see that way. I do not see that as rape. Some of these movies that come out do have this horrible aspect of rape, but Torchwood was not one of them. And there were several others that she equated with the same thing. And they did not involve rape at all. She mentioned Fringe, where, not the first episode or the second episode of the first season, but the character of one of the investigators, the female investigator in the alternate dimension, got pregnant. And, she had one of these fast pregnancies because the baby was going to die, and there was this, complicated plot about, saving its life by having her go through this pregnancy really fast so they could save the baby. Well, she was equating that with the same thing. That did not involve rape in any form or fashion. You couldn't even make that case. It was consensual sex between her and her boyfriend. There was not even implied rape. There was nothing. And she was equating this and a whole bunch of other shows and movies with the same thing. And so she was all over the place, equating all of this with rape and torture and everything else. And you can't just take a bunch of television shows and movies and paint the whole thing as a rapist, torturous, evil fantasy thing. That's not what was happening. There are some movies that are like that. Alien vs. Predator, Scissors are a few that I hate and absolutely loathe. Another movie which I will be reviewing called The Shaft, while it doesn't involve that aspect, is also what I would consider torture porn. And obviously that stuff is sickening. It should be condemned. I absolutely agree. But as this woman went on, it became very obvious she had a very political agenda with what she was saying, and she was all over the place, as I say, with this analogy of, pregnant belly expansion in films being, a form of evil, male-dominated rape fantasy, something, just horrible things. So, I tell you what, I'm going to change my mind here. Let's see her video, and I'm going to let you see what, and hear what we've seen, and let you decide for yourselves. I'm going to, give my opinion on what I think of it. So, let's hear what she has to say here.
One thing I love about speculative fiction is its ability to explore difficult topics. Because of its separation from our current time frame, it can comment on socioeconomic and cultural issues in really engaging and interesting ways. But one
issues
thing
that
I've
you
learned
agree
from
with.
watching a lot of science fiction and fantasy television is you never, ever want to get pregnant on TV.
Never seen this one before. Oh, there's Torchwood. Angel with the...
Yep. Some of our most celebrated female characters come out of the sci-fi genre, but it's not all sunshine and roses. It's common practice for Hollywood writers to have their female characters become pregnant at some point in their TV series. These storylines are almost always built around women who have their ovaries harvested by aliens, who serve as human incubators for demon spawn. Basically, the characters are reduced to their biological functions. I'm sure you've seen this trope
Not
many
always.
times
What are you
before.
talking about?
Remember back in the mid-90s on the X-Files when FBI agent Dana Scully found herself abducted and forcibly impregnated, which of course later culminated in a hybrid human-alien child. More recently, on the second season of Battlestar Galactica, Starbuck had her ovaries harvested by the Cylons in an attempt to create human Cylon embryos. Then we have Gwen Cooper, co-star of the Doctor Who spin-off Torchwood, who was bitten by an alien one night, and the next morning she wakes up to find herself extremely pregnant with the alien spawn.
Okay.
This trope was inflicted on Cordelia from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off show Angel, not once, but twice. Vala in Stargate SG-1 is forcibly impregnated, and she is made to birth a rapidly aging child thing.
She was actually pregnant in real life when she did those episodes.
Grew up quickly, but this is ridiculous.
It was
Xena
written
and
into the
Gabrielle
show.
both have had baby troubles of the mystical variety at different times in Xena Warrior Princess. On the show Fringe, Olivia's alternate reality doppelganger, Folivia, finds herself at the center of a kidnapping conspiracy to accelerate her pregnancy in order to extract the blood of her newborn baby, which will power a doomsday device. Deanna Troi from Star Trek The
It was
Next
also to
Generation
save the child's
is perhaps
life.
the quintessential example of the mystical.
Okay, stop, please. Let's go back. Some of what she said was true. A little bit. The theme of always having a pregnancy be a horrible experience with a demon child or an alien child, where it's just a horrible thing and pregnancy is portrayed as something that women should never want to go through, that's terrible. It shouldn't be portrayed that way. But some of these episodes, I would agree if this was what she was saying, that they're portraying pregnancy as a bad thing to go through, and that's not right. However, that's not what she's saying. Listen to the rest of the comments. Listen to her dialogue, what she's about to say. She makes it very clear that's not what bothers her. It should, but that's not what bothers her. Just listen.
Advance to my more religious viewers, because you really can't forget the original mystical pregnancy narrative.
Oh, here we go.
Conception. As the story goes, an all-powerful being descended from the heavens and impregnated a young woman with the chosen one, destined to save Earth and the souls of humanity. Yep. It's almost an unwritten rule that at some point during a sci-fi or fantasy television show, the writers will inseminate their female leads with some sort of ghastly pregnancy experience. The mystical pregnancy is one of the plot devices that I loathe the most, because while other tropes represent women in stereotypical ways, this one hits us on a biological level. Yes, some of us are physically capable of having babies.
What? Wait, stop. Some of us are physically capable of having babies? Listen to the way that sounds, that sarcastic remark that she just made. It's like, oh, yes, some of us are capable of biologically having babies, damn it. That's the way it came off to me, like, oh, damn it, these stupid, lousy pregnancies that are forced on our bodies. Damn you men, damn you to hell. Just listen to that again. Listen to the tone.
Yes, some of us are physically capable of having babies. Some of us are physically capable of having babies. Some of us are physically capable of having babies.
But damn it, I wish we didn't. It's the worst thing ever. That's what I'm getting out of this. If you listen to her there, that is... she does not like the idea of pregnancy. Trust me. She doesn't. That's what I'm getting out of this. Okay, let's listen to the rest of it now.
But no, that does not mean you get to take advantage of and abuse that for the sake of your story. Fanvidder Laura Shapiro calls the mystical pregnancy a type of reproductive terrorism because it makes becoming pregnant seem disgusting, frightening, and nightmarish. Laura goes on to say, the problem from my point of view is that pregnancy and birth are natural processes that are being distorted into torture porn, ways of punishing women, and exploiting their terror to up the dramatic stakes.
Okay, I'm actually in agreement with that statement. A lot of these films and television shows that involve this, not all of them, but some of them, do tend to portray pregnancy as something evil, something terrible, a horrible experience that no woman should have to go through. And at this point, when I was first watching this, I was thinking, well, I'm actually in agreement here, that sounds reasonable, but I kept getting this underlying tone. They really were not concerned about the pregnancy aspect of it. And what I got out of this when she made that comment about, yes, some of us are capable of having children, it came off as like, yeah, damn it, some of us are capable of having children, but I wish we didn't. They're not coming from this from a pro-pregnancy perspective. And while I agree that some of these shows and some of these movies do portray pregnancy in a negative light, not every show that she named did that. There was no rape in Fringe, the episode she's talking about. There was no torture porn involved. Not every episode that she named here is what she's talking about. You need to get your facts straight about what you're talking about when you're trying to make a point about a certain subject. Anyway, let's hear what else she has to say here. Let's just listen, if we can.
This trope can't be brushed off as just entertainment. Human beings from the beginning of verbal storytelling have used narratives to understand ourselves and the world around us. When we hear a story repeated enough times, it can affect the way we think about reality. The mystical pregnancy is just another sexist narrative that exploits women for being female.
Oh, no.
These stories are especially striking at this point in American history because women's
reproductive
rights, which have always
There's the politics.
are currently under vicious attack by conservative and religious groups.
Oh,
some states are trying to pass legislation that will criminalize miscarriages.
Well. Stop. Hold it. Now we get to what the purpose of this whole video was all about. It had nothing to do with pregnancy. It had nothing to do with supposed rape on television or movies. It was political. This is a political video. Now, as you all know, I don't get into politics on my videos. I don't like to involve it in what I do. And so I'm not going to try to get into too much of the politics here. But what this is nothing more than political propaganda. She's trying to make a political point. And might I add, not very well. So we started with all that bull about, the mystical pregnancy, how horrible it is, just how terrible. And in some cases I was agreeing with her that, some of these movies and some of these television shows, they do portray pregnancy in a negative light. But as I said, that's not what she was concerned about. She did not care about the pregnancy aspect of that. This was all to make a political point that John Boehner is going to steal your ovaries and make you have an alien baby. Now, I know people have different opinions about politics, and I do not want a discussion about Republicans and Democrats and who you like for president and who you don't. Forget about that. That's not the point. The point I'm making about this video is that it is nothing more than political propaganda disguised as a discussion about supposed violence against women when it comes to these supposed mystical pregnancies in film and television. Now, I know some of you probably don't share my view of this video and what I think it's saying and what its purpose is. That's fine. I'm just telling you what I got out of it and what I thought of it. I honestly don't believe this video has anything to do with violence against women whatsoever. It's not even a discussion about pregnancy. It's about making political points. Now, okay, so you're saying, okay, Chipmunk, it's just another crackpot on YouTube. We've got millions of them everywhere on the internet. What does this have to do with us? Well, let me tell you. It's true that while this woman did not mention pregnancy lovers, our people, in her video, she may not be aware of us, or she may just not have mentioned us in this. But I guarantee you, someone like this, at some point, if they do become aware of us, or they want to, they are not going to like the fact that we have an attraction to pregnant women. People like this have a very narrow view of men. They believe all men are all rapists and that the rest of us are just holding back. Now, not all women believe as she does. Not all feminists believe as she does. But there are some who do. There are some people who take her very seriously. They share her crackpot ideas. At some point, and this is where you all need to listen to me, I'm not saying this is a certainty, but there may come a day and a time where these people, these crackpots, will become aware of us. They will not like the idea that we find pregnancy attractive, and they're certainly going to be very angry when they find out that we have watched some of these shows and don't find anything wrong with them, that we actually enjoy them. Some of them, the ones that are not bad, the ones that are not full of evil and rape and all that. But of course, she does not make distinctions between anything. As far as she was concerned in this political propaganda piece, anybody who watches these shows, who has an attraction to pregnancy, is a monster. That's what I got out of this political propaganda piece. Even if she herself is not aware of our community, it is with a very, very certainty that she would not like us. At best, she would think we are objectifying women, and at worst, she would think that we are all perverts and monsters. You know that she would think that. And I'm sure anybody who shares her ideas to the letter would think that as well. Now, I can't say that with any certainty any attacks from her or people like her will happen. I hope they don't, but it's a possibility, and you need to be prepared for that. All of you do. It could happen. So don't be surprised if you run across a video one day attacking our community. That's why I want to do the Pregnant Community Outreach Program. I want to talk to people before somebody else talks to everybody else and gives them these false images of who we are. We need to speak out for ourselves before somebody else defines who we are, before somebody else tells other people lies and propaganda about us. We're a minority. Minorities can be victimized, destroyed, and annihilated very easily. We have to be very careful. But we also have to speak out. Okay? Now, I'm sorry things got very serious. And if some of you disagree with me, that's fine. I just respectfully disagree with you. I know some of you probably think she had a good point and she was completely right in everything she said. That's fine. I respectfully disagree with you. I strongly, respectfully disagree with you. But the point I'm making is this. We need to speak out for ourselves. If we don't, we could be destroyed. Thank you for watching. That's all for today. I'm the Chipmunk. See you later.